Hi, Craig here. Welcome back to my kitchen and cooking with Drinch. What I'd like to say first is thank you for those of you who have already subscribed. I'm really flattered when people do that. If you do like today's video, if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe, like and share. Hey, what I'm going to do is I am going to make honey and mustard glazed ham. It's a really delicious cold meat, so for buffets, things like that. But what I use it for is I use it for my lunch. So what I try to do is try and cut it nice and thinly. I then take it to work, have it on a roll, a nice proper well-fired roll with a bit of salad, a bit of mustard. It is really, really tasty. It's a two-step process. First of all, it's a boil or a simmer, and then it's finished off with the glaze in the air fryer. Before we get in nice and close, I'll go through what we are going to use. I've got just over 1 kilo of unsmoked gammon. You can use smoked if you like. I always do unsmoked. It's actually a matter of preference. We've got bay leaves, I'm going to use 2 of those. I've got whole black peppercorns. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of that. I've got thyme and I've got rosemary, again 2 tablespoons. I've got cloves. I'm going to use a tablespoon of cloves. You'll also need 1 onion, 2 carrots. You don't need to peel the carrots, they just need to be sort of roughly chopped. Mine are peeled, but they've come out of the freezer. Onion, obviously, just chop that roughly as well. We are going to discard what we're going to simmer it in, or I'm going to discard it. You can use it for a stock, for a broth. Then for the glaze, I'm going to use clear honey, English mustard to give it a really nice bite, as well as 2 tablespoons of dark brown sugar, so soft dark brown sugar. As usual, the full description will be in the next little section before we get in nice and close. Okay, so let me get this tidied away. I'll get the gammon out of its packet, I'll get the hob out, and we can get in nice and close and see what we're doing. Here this pan sizzling away because I've already started that going. So like I said, the ham in first, the onions and the peppers in all around the sides. As you can see, there is quite a few bits and pieces going in there. I've mixed together all the herbs and spices. There's quite a lot of those, but it just adds to the flavour. Okay. Now, on a normal hob, what I would do is I would use cold water. I've warmed this water up a little bit. So all we need to do, and you can see it's going to go right to the top. I will keep topping up with water because if you can cover it, brilliant. If you can't cover, it doesn't matter, because what you do is halfway through the cooking time, flip the ham over so that the other half gets sort of an even distribution of cooking. I've had to do that plenty of times when I've used a bigger ham, and it really doesn't matter what size you do. The cooking time for this section is 20 minutes per kilogram plus 20 minutes. So I'm going to cook this for 45 minutes. First thing we need to do is get it up to the boil, because that time doesn't actually start until this is boiling. So I'm going to pause now. As it comes to the boil, I'll bring the camera back on. So a little recap of that bit. But I'll be back once this starts boiling. Alright, so that's now just like, wait for the cloud of steam to get out of the way. That's nicely coming up to the boil now. We don't want to blast this. It's quite a long, slow cook, so we're going to turn it down just so that it's simmering away. I will need to keep an eye on the water levels, just to make sure that the water is sort of covering it as much as possible. Obviously when it's boiling, the water will wash over the top of it as well. Like I said, this is going to take 45 minutes. I am going to keep the lid back on, so hopefully it doesn't need topped up quite as much. But rather than fast forward through a pan of water simmering away, I'm going to pause it there and then come back when the 45 minutes are up. All right, move that up a little bit. That is 45 minutes done. I've just turned this off. It's gone down a little bit. What I just want to do is just wash off anything that's on top. Doesn't really matter if there is anything on top. But let me get the hob out of the way so that we can actually then look at what we need to do next. Right, next thing we need to do, let's get this out of there. It's looking really nice. You get a really strong smell of the cloves, which is brilliant. So let's get that onto the side there. Like I said, you can use this as stock for a soup or anything else. Let's get moved out of the way. I'm not going to do that. Let's get rid of the little bit of spillage. Oh, sorry. Okay. And what we actually want to do, lie it down. You can see that has cooked up lovely. Really doesn't matter whether it separates out. I did take the plastic wrapping off. You don't have to. At this stage, all we need to do is let that cool down. It will keep a lot of steam coming off it. It will keep cooking as it's cooling down. If you want to get straight onto the next bit, you can do, but I normally let it cool down for about an hour so that you can actually then touch it, or at least you can hold on to it while you get the glaze on. So that normally takes about an hour. If you want to leave it overnight, you can do that. Works just as well. So I'm going to let that cool, and I will be back to you once that's done. There we go. That's been about an hour. Still a little bit of steam coming off there, but you can see it's nice and easy to touch. It's cooled down nicely. This side's not broken up quite as much as the other side. Now, I need to just get this moved on to the actual tray that I'm going to cook it in the oven. While it was cooling down, I did make the glaze, which is here, which is a lovely honey and mustard glaze. In it, 2 tablespoons of English mustard, very generous tablespoons. That does give it a wee bite. 70 grams of clear honey. And 2 tablespoons of soft brown sugar. It's obviously very sweet. You can use other mustards if you want, but I do like the bite that the English mustard gives it. I have used things like whole grain mustard before, but like I said, I think this makes it much better. If there's a skin on it, we need to take the skin off. If there's some fat like that, what we need to do, we need to score the fat just so the glaze goes all the way in and it cooks nicely. As this is broken open, not broken open, but split apart, I can now get some of the glaze all the way inside it. But if it doesn't do that, what I will do, like with my char siu recipe, I will use a fork and I will dip that in. So all we need to do, get the brush, and we want a nice generous glaze all over. What I'll do is I'll fast forward, have some of the cool music on again, so you don't have to listen to me blethering, and yeah, get the gist. You can see exactly what I'm doing on the speeded up version. Right, so that's that now ready to go. I'm going to cook it in the bottom of the air fryer. But let me change the angle so you can actually see what I'm doing just to get that set up. I want just a scoosh of water in the bottom of here. We want to try and get some moisture. It's hot because I've heated it up and I just managed to burn myself on it. That was very clever. Oh, the hazards of cooking. Next in, we have got this ham. Let's pull it forward. We're going to cook it at 200 degrees for 10 minutes. Take it out, recoat it, change the position within the air fryer, do another 10 minutes, take it out, recoat it. We're then going to do it for at least another 10 minutes, so at least 30 minutes. You will know your air fryer, how it works, so you can adjust the timings as necessary. But let's get that started and I'll be back in 10 minutes. Okay, first 10 minutes done. That is looking so good. Right, let's get this out of there. I'm trying not to burn myself again. Okay, it's starting to caramelize up nicely. I'll readjust the position of the camera in a second, but let me just get that out. So, excuse the noise. Let me reposition the camera so we can actually look at that properly. Right, that's looking really nice. Let's just get it laid down on its side. So what we need to do now is same again. Big dollop of glaze all over. Again, I will do this and I will fast forward it. The only reason I put the plate underneath is because it drips obviously quite a bit off there, and I want to save myself a little bit of tidy up. So while I'm turning this plate, it's going to make a horrible noise, so I will start fast forwarding it now so you don't hear me turning the plate. Like you can see, absolutely lashings of glaze on that. We need to get that back into the air fryer. So another 10 minutes at 200 degrees centigrade. Let me just readjust that. Move the light out the way. Get in nice and close. I say nothing else has really changed, so let's get that back in. I have put it now on one of the sides, like I said I would do. I will cook it on the other side for the next one. Ooh. So we can, let's turn the light on so you can see it in there. 10 minutes, 200, and see you for the next stage. Okay, second 10 minutes gone, so let's get this out. Oh, look at that. I'll get a nice close up in a second of that. Alright, let me just adjust the angle here so you can actually see it. That is looking so good. You can see it's starting to caramelize as well around the edges. Let's get just a little dollop on this side before we turn it over. That is looking so good. Alright, we'll need the tongs. It is very hot. There we go. Okay. Alright, so again, massive amount of, or a big dollop of glaze on all around. So again, I will fast forward. You know what I'm doing, so I don't need to talk all the way through it, and you don't need to listen to me gibbering on as I do the glaze. Let's get the air fryer opened up again. Another 10 minutes. So we can actually see what's happening. Closed up. A little bit of spillage on the front glass, but I will clean that up later. 10 minutes. 200 degrees centigrade. You can see in there nicely, the lights on, and off we go. That's the third 10 minutes done. Let's get out, just have a little look. I can honestly, the colour's glorious on that. Oh, so. Alright, let me have a little look, so you decide whether I'm going to put in for another little bit. And you know what? I think I am. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand it up on its end again. The oven glove. Ooh. Stand that up. Perfect. Right. I want a lot of this on top. Yeah, the smell after it came out of the simmering was lots and lots of cloves. Now you can smell the mustard coming off this, which is really cool. So again, I will scoosh it forward so that you're not watching me do this. So I'll just stick it on fast forward and you don't hear the plate scraping. That's that ready to now go back into the air fryer. Just going to do it for another 10 minutes. Let's get this in and out of the way. It's going to sit up like that in the air fryer this time. Back to the very first run round. Once again, 10 minutes. Ooh. Actually see it's back in there. 10 minutes, 200 degrees centigrade, and off we go. That is the last 10 minutes done. That is, look at that. You can already see how good it's looking. So let's get that out. Get hold of it. Okay. get that down. Move that out of the way. And there we go. That is now ready. It looks perfect. Smells really nice again. What I'm going to do, I'm going to let it cool down. It doesn't matter how much you let this cool. Well, for me it doesn't. If you want to eat it now, you can eat it now. But like I said, I use this as a cold meat. So instead of buying meat in the shops, I just use it as a cold meat. So I'm going to let it cool down before I start carving it and before I have a little taste. That's that. That's that now ready to carve. It's nice and cool. I have split it into two, as you can see. It just makes it easier to cut up. I'm not going to stand and carve all of it in front of the camera, but what I'll do, I'll cut a few slices, I'll have a little taste. It goes straight into the fridge and gets taken in for my lunch. I'm going to try and make these cuts as thin as possible, just so it's like a normal bit of sort of cooked meat. They're going down very, very nicely. I can already feel it's still really, really tender. So you can see it's carving really beautifully. Alright, what I'm going to do, let me get a piece here. I'll get a piece with lots of the glaze on it. You didn't know I was going to go lots of mms, did you? That is really, really, really tasty. Really sweet, a little kick of English mustard, and really worth the effort to make this. Hope you've enjoyed this video today. Please like, subscribe, share. You know all the bits you need to do, and I will see you next time.